And we are just getting things started. Ferocious starting off the bomb from DT. Ferocious getting tracked back to DT. Has by far the best ping. DT needs to track down Ferocious, and Ferocious, the player with the best ping, is out. Titans have the challenge of having to play on North American West servers while predominantly being a European team. Did they practice for that? We'll find out today. DT to Chris. DT, can he pass it back? And Chris is out. DT, Fantana. DT, can he pass it over to Slump? Slump needs to track down DT, unsuccessful in doing so. Fantana from DT. DT, clear starter, no chain off to Fantana. Real Gamer, still alive in the mix. Fantana, needing to make some big plays happen. Tree Droid will get involved, and DT's out. Real Gamer, going for Tree Droid. Real Gamer, can he pass the tree? Yes, he does. Sharks quickly gain control over the situation. Real Gamer will pass it back to Shaft, and Shaft needs to pass it, and he does. He took out Real Gamer. It's now a one-on-one in round number 1, set 1, game number 3. Shaft, Fantana, and Fantana is unable to pass it back. That is a point for the Titans. We already know this is going to 3 sets, man. It's going to be a long game. A very long game. (1-0) for the Titans. Slump needs to pass it over, and Slump is out. Real Gamer now with the bomb, passed it over to Tree Droid. Real Gamer wanted nothing to do with it. Ferocious taking out Tree Droid. Fantana to Yuri. Yuri to Fantana. Fantana from Real Gamer. Real Gamer to Yuri, and Yuri is out. Fantana to George. Fantana back to George. George needs to pass to someone and give it to Chris instead. DT to Fantana. DT to George. Tried getting a chain off. They were unsuccessful in doing so. Shaft to Real Gamer, and Real Gamer is out. It is a 2-on-2 ping advantage with the Sharks. 9 times out of 10, the Sharks will win in this very scenario. DT is out. Shaft, the last remaining hope for the Titans. Ferocious to Shaft, and they'll tie it back up. 1-1. Slump to Tree Droid. Now Ferocious. Ferocious needs to take out. No, Ferocious was unable to get tracked back. Fantana to DT. DT needs to track it over to Fantana. DT is unsuccessful in tracking it over to Fantana. Back to the lobby. You got Yuri and Ferocious. Yuri. Yuri. Can I give it to Ferocious? And Ferocious ends up taking out a Sharks player. I think Real Gamer was sent back. No, Real Gamer is still in it. Not sure who was sent back to the lobby. Chris is out. Curious George getting a chain off to Yuri. Fantana now in the mix. Fantana needs to track back. Tried to sack George. However, it didn't work out. The Titans are still down players. Ferocious from George. Ferocious has timing, and George is unable to do anything about Ferocious. Fantana to Shaft. Ferocious to Shaft, and Shaft is out. That is another win for the Sharks, and they take the lead 2-1. Oh my goodness, Code. What in the world? Code with the roses. Code time bomb. Thank you very much. And Code coming through with the galaxies. Oh dear. Galaxy Swarm. Roses Swarm. Code, oh my lord, thank you so much. Happy 400 million visits. Absolutely insane stuff by Code. Shaft taken out. Real Gamer taking out Real Gamer, still alive. Ferocious is in the mix. Ferocious to Fantana. Ferocious unable to give it to Zora. Yuri to Chris. Chris is out. Zora to Real Gamer. Real Gamer needs to pass it back. Can Real Gamer? Oh, what a chain play. Ferocious isn't in it. However, the EU Sharks are still holding the ground on North American West servers. Real Gamer sacking Fantana, and it is a one-on-one. Can the World Cup champion win it against Yuri? Yuri from Real Gamer, and Real Gamer is unable to pass it back. The Titans tie it up 2-2 in round number 4. Shaft taking out Slump. Ferocious to George, and George is out. DT taking out Chris. Ferocious to Zora. Zora to Ferocious, and Fantana is taken out in the process. Yuri, can he track down Real? No, gets juked by Real Gamer. Back to the lobby. The savior of round number 4 is gone. Real Gamer is also gone. Shaft able to outrun. Ferocious looking to 3v1. DT is the first player. What's happening right now is not going to work. Ferocious is out. Titans. Did Titans figure out the 14 ping? Ferocious. 3-2 for Titans. Titans positioning themselves perfectly for the sandwich play. Real Gamer. Slump. Slump is out once again. Fantana to Yuri. Yuri unable to pass it to anyone. George. George, can he pass it over to Ferocious? Tried to give it to Zora for the chain. We simply didn't have enough time. Titans need to get for Chem locked in. Fantana to Zora. Zora is out. Had no one to give it to. Sharks looking to tie back up again. Shaft is out next. Not looking good for the Titans. DT up against Ferocious. Nearly impossible to take him out on his own. However, DT just did in that particular scenario. Now you have Chris. Chris. Far away. DT outruns. And Chris is out. DT now up against Fantana. Fantana, can he do it? Fantana has timing. DT now has timing. And DT is out in the sandwich play. We are tied 3-3. Fantana given a leg warning. Fantana to Yuri. Yuri is out, unable to give it to anyone. George from Real Gamer. And Zora is out. Smart chain by the Sharks. George to Fantana. Slump to George, and George is out. Slump to Shaft. Slump is out. Shaft is given to DT, unsuccessful in doing so. DT, can he give it to Fantana? He does give it to Fantana, and now the next player he's up against is Real Gamer. However, Real Gamer wants nothing to do with DT and is going to let Chris handle it instead. DT to Chris. Chris, can he give it back? And Ferocious goes down. I don't think that's ideal for the Sharks. Chris and Real Gamer looking like both. I guess Chris is a... I don't even know what happened. Sharks take the lead. Chris, the US player. And Shaft has issued a penalty for lagging. So now Sharks have the power play here. And they're up 4-3. George, first player out. Zora to Slump. And Zora is out. DT. Can he pass it to anyone? No. No one's around him to help. Slump to Yuri. Yuri. Can he give back to Slump? Slump back to Yuri, and Yuri is out. That is another win for the Sharks. Chris, can I give it to anyone at all? No. Yuri is out. DT to Ferocious. Track down like a hawk. Zora and Fantana. Slump to Zora. Zora needs to pass it back to Slump. Ends up sacking Tree Droid instead. Real Gamer and Fantana still alive. It is a 3-on-2. Zora to Slump. Slump needs to pass it back. And he does. It's now a 3-on-1 for DT. Despite not having Ferocious alive, the Sharks just can't seem to get it done. Or sorry, the Titans just can't seem to get it done. Fantana up against DT now. Fantana to DT. DT is out. That is another win for the Sharks. 6-3. The minigame was stopped. I think Shaft needs to be let back in. Tree Droid to Slump. Tree Droid unable to pass to Slump. Zora is out. Ferocious to Slump. Slump, can he track back? Shaft. Shaft to Chris. Nope, Shaft unable to give it to anyone. DT. DT to Fantana. Chris, taken out by DT. DT, taken out next. Slump to Yuri. Can Yuri pass it back? No, Yuri stands no chance. That is another win for the Sharks. 7-3, Super Sharks. Ferocious, first player out. Zora, unable to give to Slump. Shaft in the mix, and Shaft is out. Yuri, Slump. Yuri is out. DT, giving it to Chris now. Slump in the mix. Will DT get chained? No, almost. Just didn't have timing. I guess Yuri or Fantana must start the play. Fantana to DT. DT needs to pass it back. Has no one to give it back to. Tree Droid tried getting a sandwich play. However, the Sharks understand that allowing one-on-ones is the most optimal strategy. Slump unable to pass it over. True Droid from Real Gamer, and that is another win for the Sharks. 8-3. Shaft going down next. Yuri, unable to pass to anyone. Slump from Zora, and Zora takes out Slump. Zora to Ferocious. Ferocious has timing. Zora now has the timing. High bomb on Ferocious, and Ferocious easily tracks it back. Now you have Ferocious and Fantana. DT and Real Gamer. DT, Real Gamer, and Real Gamer tracking down Tree Droid. Fantana unable to get tracks down DT at the last second, and the score is 9-3 for the Sharks. Slumped Shaft, and Shaft is out. Ferocious to Tree Droid. Ferocious. Can he pass it back? No. Ferocious is out. Slump. Slump to Trees. And Tree Droid is out. Fantana to DT. DT to Fantana. Chris, can he give it to anyone? Gives up. It is now a 2-on-2. Real Gamer in the mix. DT to Real Gamer. Real Gamer unable to pass it back. Zora taken out next. Slump. Unable to give it to DT. It is 9-4 for the Sharks. Whoever made that 11-5 prediction We're getting closer. Very partly might cash out. Curious George to Fantana. Fantana is out. Yuri to Tree Droid, and Tree Droid is out. $5,000 Robux to Soul. If that prediction is true for set number 1. DT is to track to Chris, and Chris is out. Real Gamer to Ferocious, and Yuri is out. DT from Ferocious, and Curious George is out. Soul has 5k on the line if the Titans can win here. Zora is out. And it's now the Sharks up against the Titans. Ferocious, unable to track it over, is now DT versus Real Gamer. Real Gamer out. DT wins it. So far, it is 9-5. Fantana needs to give it to Zora, unsuccessful at doing so. Real Gamer, the next player out. Chris from DT. And DT's out. Tree Droid from Ferocious, and Tree Droid is out. Yuri's out. Yuri just sold that. I don't know what he was doing there. Curious George with the bomb now. Chris, tracking back George. Score is 10-5. Will the score be 11-5? Or will it be 10-6? Curious George is out. Ferocious goes down next. Slump to Tree Droid. And Zora is out. Tree Droid, unable to give to anyone. Yuri, unable to pass it over to Slump. DT from Chris. DT needs to give it to someone, and DT is out. The score ends 11-5. Soul's prediction is correct. Alright, we're gonna switch servers now. Titans will go on their European servers. Titans running out of time to make their server. We're still not getting for EU servers. Not sure what's happening. Clearly, yeah, the Titans are stalling or something. Make your servers. Let's go. We're waiting. I don't know, man. Looks like the EU servers are down, but that's why you sign a diverse roster. The Titans are entirely like I actually don't know who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to sign an entirely EU roster. No team in the history of the OTA has ever won a championship by having an NA only or EU only roster.
Well, it looks like, after all this time, we finally got our EU server. That was ridiculous. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, crap. Yeah. Slumped Zora, and Zora is out. Fetana is out next. You have True Droid and Ferocious, real gamer in the mix. Yuri out. Oh crap, yeah, I do need to reset the scores. Sorry. And Real wins the first round for his team. 1-0 Sharks. The chef gets a leg warning right off the bat. Apparently on his own servers. That's another win for the Sharks. Sorry, fellas, I'll start commentating in a couple rounds. Yo, Soul and Bobby Alts with gifts. Oh my goodness. Bobby Alts and Soldai. Thank you so much. Those gifts are insane, man. They mean a lot. Thank you, Bobby Alts, man. Coming in crazy. Soul and Bobby. They cannot stop. Holy cow. Thank you so much. And Ray. Another win for the Sharks on Titan servers. The Titans are truly miserable right now. It is not looking good for them. Bobby, I'll also give you a follow too. Oh crap, what the hell just happened to my layout? Oh boy, there we go. Four 0 for the Sharks. The Titans are making me fall asleep. I'm actually watching a gift counter. Yoranu sending a bravo. Wow, thank you, thank you.
And Yuri, I think that's finally the first win for the Titans. 4-1. Another win for the Sharks. 5-1 on EU servers. Unbelievable. Game 3. Game 3 for the finals. Map does seem a little crowded. What is happening? Got 4. Sorry, seems like we're 6 players in this map. That's not my problem though. Slumped Shaft. Slump, can he pass it over? No. Got Shaft and Ray. Chris is out. Shaft to Ray, and Ray is out. Shaft making some work out of the Sharks. Looks to get another point on the board, spark some momentum. Shaft to Real Gamer, and that is another point for the Titans. Sharks, 6 wins away from going to the finals, where they will await the beasts. Fantana taking out Ryan. Shaft tracked through the wall. Slump is out. Yuri taken out next. Ray to George. Ray is out. Tradroid unable to pass it. Oh no. Oh no. Chris to George. George needs to pass it back, and George outruns him, ankles him, and that is another point for the Sharks.
I'm so fucking bad.
We're in the Titans VC, where they're clearly distraught. Not much talking going on. Shaft to Slump. Slump is out. Ryan to Chris. Chris needs to give it back. Unsuccessful in doing so. Some life for the Titans. Ray to Shaft. And another Titans player gets taken out and sacked. Real Gamer going for Shaft now.
Oh,
What's Ray?
As Shaft is out.
Yes, bro.
Real Gamer. It's Two Droid. And that's another win.
What's the score? What's the score?
That's another win.
Oh, come on, come on.
7-2, this can't be happening.
Alright, come on,
bro.
come on, come on. Get the NAs through, get Fantana.
7-2. Titans still believe in themselves. We'll go to the Sharks VC to see what's happening there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Like I just let it. Hold that, boy.
Ray.
Hold that, Ray.
To Yuri. And Yuri is
God,
out.
Bro, like, this nigga's so nice. Like he too clean with it, bro. Oh shit, Spot Joy.
Oh, they're just gonna do some random shit. Nice.
Ray.
There's so many. Look at them all like circling outside there. Do you need?
Shaft taking out Ray.
Oh, you're lagging.
Got slumped. Shaft.
Yeah, sure.
Slumped Shaft, and Shaft is out. Sent back to the lobby. You got George to Slump. Slump is out.
Yeah, you can sit in Zora.
Where's Ryan doing?
Chris
I
to
don't
George.
know, bro.
And Ryan is out. Going to be given a leg warning. Clear leg on Ryan. George to Chris, and Chris is tracked down. It's now George up against Fantana.
Zora sitting.
And George
Nice.
outruns. That is another point for the Titans.
Come on, bro.
Yo, spy. Pen and slump, first. Pen and slump.
He probably can't hear.
Spy, you leave my face, bro. Pen and slump, bro.
Titans, you guys are losing 7-3 on your own servers.
Oh,
What's
not
happening?
time,
Your
bro, not the
season,
time, bro.
your
Oh my
season
God.
is on the
Yeah,
line.
This is not the good time, Spy, bro.
Spy,
my
spy.
days. Come
Bro,
on,
we're
Spy,
mid-game.
we're really taking
3 leg warnings handed down in that one sequence. Round 10 was totally a crap show. George is out. Zora, taken up by Chris. Ankled and floppity flop by Chris. Zora's in the lobby. Ray to Yuri. Ray outruns Yuri. Ray to Tree Droid. Ray is out. Tree Droid to Fantana. Fantana back to Tree. And Tree Droid ends up tracking down Fantana. Says, no thanks, you ain't going nowhere. It is now Slump and Chris. Tree still alive. A 2-on-1 for the Sharks. Can Tree Droid, with only 7 KOs, get another point on the board for his team? Chris has no timing. It is now Real Gamer versus Tree Droid. Can Tree Droid take out the World Cup champion? And he does! 7-4. Yuri and Real Gamer. Yuri to Slump. There's been a reset on the play. Was there enough time? I'm not sure. No idea what happened there. There might be a penalty, there might not be one. Ray is out. Chris to George. Fantana. Can he track down Zora? No, he can't. George is out. Real Gamer. Take out Tree Droid, and it's now Real Gamer up against Zora. Real Gamer. Will he give his team the further lead to comfortably extend the lead? Zora gives it back, and Real Gamer tracks it down. 8-4, Sharks. No idea how it's 8-5. I think it's 8-4. Yeah, because we're around number 13, so 8-4. Was that a Real Gamer who just went down? No, that was Zora. Zora's down. Fantana to Tree Droid. Tree Droid is out deck. No, sack to Curious George instead. Sharks on first set. Tree and Fantana. The minigame was stopped. What happened? Round was nulled, not sure why. Referee should probably use the messaging feature to let everyone know. Q1 to Shaft, and Shaft to Q1. Shaft to Fantana. Fantana, Shaft, can he pass it back? Chris is out. Real Gamer is out. Shaft to Fantana, Fantana back to Shaft. Shaft to Fantana, Fantana back to Shaft, and Shaft ends up sacking Curious George instead in a failed chain attempt. And Yuri Lover goes down next. Shaft ends up sacking down trees. It is now a 2-on-2. Sorry, yeah, 2-on-2. Slump. Shaft clearly lagging. And Shaft will get a penalty or leg warning. Not sure what will happen with him. Fantana to Ryan. Ryan to Fantana. Fantana to Ryan. Ryan unable to track back to Fantana. That is a win for the Sharks. Shaft has been ejected from the set. Fantana is sat. Well, Shaft is still in, so Titans have called a timeout. Let's see what's happening in the Titans area. Titans, you have called a timeout. You guys are losing on your own servers. What are you guys going to do to send us to a set 3?
Let's go Titans! Woo!
DT ain't it? DT is gone. That guy is definitely
Oh
no
my
answer.
days, dude. Guys, come on.
Oh my.
Sharks, Titans have called. Yo, so
Yo,
Ti-
Spice, Spice.
Titans call a timeout. How are you guys feeling right now? How the score is looking like?
We're feeling great. Like we're
Yeah, we're
actually
gonna crush
confident.
them.
You
We're
know,
actually gonna crush them.
we're hype. You know, I'm hyping my team up. You know, I don't know if you heard when you joined. My Felix's.
Yeah,
But
you know,
yeah,
the accusations and like everything, just for us to win. Like, come on now, we're gonna win this season.
So you guys are a little diverse. So you have NA and EU players, while the Titans are only EU. What are the benefits? And do you think having a mixed roster, you know, continental-wise, is key to winning a championship?
Hell yeah,
Of-
yeah.
yeah, of course
Having a
it is,
mixed
because,
roster,
like,
bro,
you
that shit
know.
is like, it's OP. Like when you go to you could go to EU or NA, you could go to Singapore. If your roster is diverse, like it's just like a clear advantage. Like
Yeah, one person could solo the whole team, you know, like me.
okay, no, you're shit.
Oh, timeout's
Alright,
over.
okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, good luck.
All right, we're about to head into the next round. Fantana sat, and I believe Shaft was ejected. Shaft is still in it. No ejection for him, apparently. Shaft resets. It is a 4-on-4. Yuri, out. Tree Droid is also sent out. Not looking good for the Titans. Ray and Ryan Ray, can he give it back? Chris ends up getting taken out in the mix instead. Carries George. Now it's a bomb. 9 KOs going up against Slump. Slump with 15, and Slump will pass it over to George. Ray to Blue Clouds. And now it is a 2-on-1 in favor of the Sharks. Can they take out Ryan? Ryan will pass it back, and Ryan is out through the chain. Game point. Titans season on the line. Titans, can they win? Can they win 6 in a row? Yuri, gives it to Slump.
I'm on like 5k ping.
Real gamer.
This guy just.
What? Switch? What?
Crazy.
And Ryan is out next. And it's slowly ending for the Titans. The Titans' fever dream, their hopes of the finals, coming to an end. Sharks
Oh, you
looking to
guys are
secure.
way too far.
Sharks looking to secure a championship. Looking to go up against the Beasts.
Smash in the VC.
George resets. That is an automatic win. It is GG's.
It's gonna be a long year.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Sharks win.
Oh, well, at least we get 700 Robux. Am I right, guys?
Oh my god! 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 Yo, Spy, we did it!
Oh my god, we did it.
Spy, we did it! 10 overtime.
Sharks, you
10
guys,
overtime.
you guys are going up
Ten
against the
overtime.
Beasts next. It will be a real Drew versus Bob Blown showdown with Vox in the mix too. Are you guys excited for
yeah.
it?
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're just gonna do West. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna West.
We're gonna win.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't care if y'all got
congratulations.
The West method, by the way, we're winning.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah, keep
Take
it
care.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
That is the game. Titans lose. Their season is over. Finals tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.